Chris Broussard, former New York Times, Odd Couple, Fox Sports Radio. What a topic. Topic gods today gave us all sorts of stuff, Chris. All right. Let's start with it. Let's get the Laker thing out of the way here. I don't want to go too Laker crazy on this, but ties out, what's next?
Well, I mean, you see the names out there. Jason Kidd, who they wanted to be on this staff, could end up being the guy. I think that will probably be LeBron's choice at this point.
By the way, Milwaukee got significantly better when he left.
Yeah. No question about that. Lionel Hollins. I love Lionel Hollins. I love his style of coaching, which is I'm the boss.
Yeah, no, he's tough.
Right, and I like that, and he had great success in Memphis. It'd be interesting. I don't know. It'd be interesting to see how that worked with LeBron. Frank Vogel, I think, is a good coach. Not for LeBron. I don't think he'd get LeBron's respect. Mike Woodson would be, he'd be pretty good too. So
let me throw this at you. The story that Rambuses are suggesting to Jeannie, trade LeBron and get a cachet of gifts. What do you make of that?
You ain't getting a cachet of gifts. That's the problem. First of all, if you trade LeBron wants to be in L.A. He came here. One reason was basketball. Another reason was family. Another reason was business. If he gets traded somewhere else, the other team's got to be like, he's not going to be happy. We've seen LeBron sulk. So if you trade him somewhere, that's the first. There's 4 reasons you're not getting anything. And I was just talking to a GM this morning about it. 1, is he going to want to be there? And if he's not, you got a problem. 2, the perception. Now, LeBron and his guys will tell you the reality is different. The perception is that he takes over the franchise. A GM doesn't want that. 3rd, expectations become championship or bust.
All right.
If you don't win the championship or get to the finals, you might lose your job as a GM. What GM wants that? 4th, whether this is true or not, a lot of executives think LeBron is falling off. He's still great, still top 5, but not the guy that no matter what you have around you is carrying you to the finals.
Okay, I'm going to throw a team at you, and just give me a minute on this. If Sixers lose tonight, you got to blow some stuff up. I'm Jeannie Buss, Lonzo and LeBron. You go to Philly.
Okay.
We get Simmons, who Philadelphia doesn't fit, and I think Elton Brand already suggested trading him.
Right.
You give us Butler. You give us Simmons. We'll give you LeBron. And Butler, well, you can't trade him because he's a free agent.
Sign and trade.
Do a sign and trade. But if you tell me Butler, Simmons for LeBron and Lonzo, I got my point.
Know if it's that well, look,
I'm just throwing it out there.
I think there are 2 teams that it might make sense to trade for LeBron. One is Boston. Because they're a great historic franchise that I don't think LeBron would frown on being a part of. And Danny Ainge is like, let's win that. All in. Let's win. Okay? And I think LeBron could go there. And so I think that makes some sense. The second one is Philadelphia. Now, you'd have to work it out with Clutch. Ben Simmons is a Clutch client with Rich Paul. So they all have to be involved. Are they all happy with this? But I like LeBron in Philly with Embiid, no question.
Hey, Simmons and LeBron are interesting trade pieces.
I was saying last summer, if it's just about winning, where can I go and stack more rings? Go to Philadelphia. If I know it was about other stuff, and there's no problem with that lifestyle stuff. That's fine. But if it's just about basketball, you should have went to Philly. Here's another one. Your guy, Embiid. Because of the health concerns. What about him to the Lakers for LeBron?
Yeah, but then Simmons and LeBron have a similar style game.
Yeah, but look, if I have LeBron and Butler and Tobias, I'm competitive in these. But I like your Simmons, LeBron.
Yeah, because right now LA's disappointed. Philadelphia is kind of a mess if they lose tonight, and they got all sorts of players. Philadelphia is the one.
I don't want Butler in that if I'm the Lakers.
Okay.
Because I don't want to give him my franchise.
All right, Chris Broussard joining us. So last night, Charles Barkley's like, it's over. Golden State can't win. And my takeaway is we have data here. 29-4, the Warriors when KD's out and Steph can play. Now, I don't think they'll win in Houston, but I actually think they'd win. The Warriors would win a Game 7 without KD and Golden State.
Look, I'm glad you're saying this because I've wondered, am I the only person on the planet that understands that Kevin Durant was a luxury, not a necessity? All right. The Warriors did not need Kevin Durant to win championships. They already won one.
Or 73 games.
They won 73. They beat and I'm going to say it, great OKC team. That OKC team with KD and Russ was great. They should have beat the Warriors. They had them 3-1. I don't know if they would have beat Cleveland or not, but they beat them. And then, with all due respect to LeBron, Kyrie, the Cavaliers, most people feel like if Draymond's not suspended for Game 5, Golden State wins that series.
Yes.
So they could have been 2-time defending champions.
And 73 wins.
Yes. What happened this is what's happened. KD goes there to Golden State, and over time, Steph, Clay, all these people, they see he's the best player. Like, he's by far. As great as Steph is, KD's the best player on that team. And they see it. And over time, they naturally began to defer to him. And so they're still good enough to win titles, but you see it's not as smooth and free-flowing as it used to be. And last night, soon as he's gone, Steph takes over.
Oh.
KD reminded us, I'm Kevin Durant. He reminded you, I'm Steph Curry.
And I think what I saw last night, Harden, it wasn't that he was bad. He shot 3 times and made 2. I think the Warriors without KD are a nightmare for Harden because little skinny Steph's running around the floor and coming off cuts, and Harden's always been like a stamina concern. It's chasing Steph around and Clay around. And I let Harden look gassed.
No, that makes some sense because there's going to be a lot more player movement, and your defense is going to have to work a lot harder without KD.
Way harder.
That's a great point. 2 things about Houston and why I feel confident Golden State will still win the series. One, I just like Golden State even without KD. They're 29-4 without KD the last 3 years. Okay, Steph and Clay's numbers both go up. But beyond that, Houston, Chris Paul.
What's happened?
I don't know if it's age or if it's the system fit, because he's basically a 2-guard, and he's not a great 2-guard. He's a point guard.
Is he even this? Eric Gordon's better this morning.
Eric Gordon is the second guy, no question.
No question.
PJ Tucker's playing a more valuable role. The last 3 games, Chris is averaging 13.6 assists on 33% shooting.
Wow.
This is his moment after getting hurt last year. So I don't know if it's that or if it's just, remember, we've seen him struggle at big moments in the playoffs.
Yeah.
So let's see I got questions about what he's going to do. And then Harden, to your point, he wasn't playing badly. I'm talking about the last 7 minutes.
No, he wasn't bad.
And they were getting decent shots. Eric Gordon hit a couple big shots. Harden made a nice pass to Capella. But here's what shocked me, and this is why I'm concerned about the Rockets. Harden was not on the ball most of those last 7 minutes. There were times Eric Gordon brought the ball up twice with both Harden and CP3 on the floor. The ball was in CP3's hands at times. The way they've played the entire season, the entire playoffs, the entire first 44 minutes or whatever it was, 42 minutes, was Harden handling the ball, doing everything. And then the last 7 minutes, he's not handling it. What's going on?
Is that Harden going to Gordon saying, dude, I'm going to let you bring the ball up because I got to chase Steph? Like, I think Harden...
Is it that or is it him running away from the moment? I don't know, but it's something to watch for and something that makes me think of all those big moments where Harden hasn't delivered.
I've always been a Chris Paul fan. Last night, it was... He could have taken him off the floor. Generally with star basketball players, when Kyrie's on the floor, Giannis on the floor, Kawhi, you can just see the star. Like LeBron never disappears. I'm like, is Chris Paul on the floor?
He was just another player.
He was just, and by the way, shooting 33%. Okay, so we've addressed those 2 things. Let's move into this. I said, Kyrie doesn't fit the coach. He doesn't appear to fit the roster perfectly. He doesn't even feel like Boston. He's kind of I always felt Kevin Garnett was kind of a tough guy, was kind of a trash talker, had an edge to him. That's Boston. Boston's angry when it wakes up on a sunny day.
Right.
There's a chip. Edelman feels like Tom Brady's a grinder. Havlicek. There's guys that work. Paul Pierce felt Boston to me.
You think? See, I would say Pierce wasn't Boston.
But Pierce played defense. Pierce played defense. Pierce would get in your face. Pierce says, I want to guard Kobe. Boston's tough. Not always talented, but tough. Kurt Schilling felt like Boston. Angry, tough.
Is Brady tough?
He's a grinder. He's a grinder. And Boston likes work. I look at Kyrie and I'm like, you know what? Kyrie's great. Boston's awesome. It just wasn't destined to work. He doesn't feel like Boston. He doesn't feel like Brad Stevens. Well, it's okay.
Let me see. I just want to say this. And Kyrie deserves a lot of criticism, no question. But why is Brad Stevens getting a pass? Brad Stevens, who was crowned as the next Gregg Popovich, in fact, as Gregg Popovich.
Right.
He was right. He had a bad year. Look, every coach in the league knows the X's and O's. And you got little engine that could coaches in the NBA.
Yeah.
Some of them.
Yeah.
And that's what he is. Now, the question is, can he coach the Rolls Royces? Because if you want to win championships,
right,
you need a coach who can coach the Rolls Royces.
Well, it's funny about that. For a lot of fans that have never seen Gregg Popovich in person, he's overpowering. He's huge. The head, the beard. He's like 6'6".
Yeah.
He's loud. He's intimidating. Popovich looks like a former NBA player. When you see him walk off the bus, I've been there in Portland, watched him walk off the bus. He just looks like an old NBA player. Stevens looks like an accountant. There's something to be said about that. Like Brad's always like that meek, nice, went to Butler guy. There is a possibility that stars look at him and think, college coach.
Well,
B players like him, but A guys are like college coach.
Right. When you have guys that are just trying to show that they belong in the league or trying to, win that next contract, they're going to do whatever it takes. And that's what he had at Butler, and that's what he has had until Kyrie. Even Isaiah Thomas was a six-man chip on his shoulder. He was of that mold, too.
And
now you got you a Mercedes-Benz in Kyrie, and you couldn't make it work. So you have to be able to manage egos, bring them together. I've been told that Brad doesn't like confrontation. And Kyrie that's one reason Kyrie was out kind of talking and bringing stuff into the media, because Brad wasn't going to really address it.
Yeah, D'Antoni doesn't like confrontation either.
No, he doesn't. And so Brad Stevens, I'm not saying fire him. He's a very good coach. But I'm just saying he should not get a pass on this. Now, regarding Kyrie, and I'm going to tie it back to LeBron. If I'm LeBron James, I want to stay in L.A., so I'm not asking for a trade. Go all in on getting Kyrie back with you.
Lakers?
That's what he should do.
No, we said this morning.
Go see Kyrie soon, whenever Kyrie's ready. But when he winds down, and I know it would look humbling of Kyrie, like he's going back to his leader.
Oh.
If you're LeBron, you got to get the narrative out there. No, I need Kyrie just as much as he needs me.
My favorite band of all time is the Eagles. They fought the entire time. They were together, records. They separated. They had some success individually. Then they got back together, and they were great. They fought the entire time.
Yep.
This idea that every marriage is just hand in hand, I've been married in relationships. I've been in relationships. Arguing is okay. The Eagles argued. It's a great band. Not everybody's U2, and they're all buddies. Shaq and Kobe fought. Phil Jackson. The bottom line is LeBron and Kyrie worked. Now, they broke up like the Eagles. They did have some success, but they worked together.
Right.
One guy's a true A and controls the ball. The other guy is an overskilled 2 who doesn't want the media. LeBron's great with the media.
Right.
Like Kyrie doesn't want
Kyrie just wants the ball.
By the way,
he doesn't want the responsibility of running the team.
Scottie Pippen, I covered him. Scottie didn't like the media. Scottie didn't like the responsibility. He was a super talented 2. Michael saw the way he dressed. Michael loved the podium. Michael loved the moment. Michael liked the media. Right. Michael loved being a 1. Kobe loved being a 1. Kyrie's good enough, but he's a 2.
What's wrong with going down in history as Scottie Pippen? That's what Kyrie, and even more so because he hit the biggest shot, arguably the biggest shot, one of the biggest shots in NBA history. If I can't get Kyrie, and LeBron's got to find out relatively quickly, you got time, but from Kyrie, okay, will you come? Then I'm all in on Kemba Walker if I'm him. I don't think he's getting KD. I don't think he's getting Kawhi. Unless they know something we don't know, then don't even bother with them. You have to show Kyrie, you're my first choice. And then if you can't get him, show Kemba. I'm all in on you, because I got to ask this. As much as I love Kyrie Irving, his game is phenomenal, best handle ever, clutch player. If he had not teamed up with LeBron, how much more would we think of him than Kemba Walker? We might think of him like Kemba Walker.
That's a good point.
He makes the All-Star team every year. Team loses, doesn't make the playoffs, so you go out in the first round.
UConn, Duke, both great college star. Yeah.
So Kemba might be, we've seen signs that Kemba would play well in the clutch.
This is a good point. Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from The Herd, or go watch a few segments from other shows on FS1.